Welcome to Trivia Club.
And now, deep thoughts.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the first episode of SNL in 2014, and welcome to the Deep Thoughts on SNL podcast. It's an SNL review and discussion show. My name is Rob Moden, and we are here today with Brian Edwards. Say hi, Brian.
Ahoy, hoy. Ahoy, hoy.
And Leah Sueko.
Hello, thanks for having me.
This podcast is a spin-off of the SNL Fantasy League run by the Toronto Trivia Club, and for those who don't follow the Fantasy League, it's exactly what it sounds like. Take a football or baseball or hockey fantasy league, and instead of using players, use SNL cast members. So every week, cast members are awarded points based on whether they swear, how many sketches they show up on, singing, dancing, nudity, weekend update appearances, digital short appearances, and then whoever's drafted those cast members get the appropriate amount of points. So with that said, let's dive into the episode, shall we? It was Drake as musical guest and host, and our opening was Piers Morgan live with Governor Chris Christie, Drake showing up before the theme song as Alex Rodriguez, and Kate McKinnon as Justin Bieber.
I'm never a huge fan of Piers Morgan, the character on SNL, as much, but I love people he has on the show, and every single one of those impressions, Christy, A-Rod, and Bieber, were so on point, so fantastic.
Bieber especially.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Kate was killing it.
Yeah, she really was. I thought Drake was fantastic.
Yes.
I'm with you, Brian. I really don't like when I saw that it was opening with Piers Morgan, I was like, ugh. But it was actually really, really good.
Which is no fault on, say, Taron Killam or his impression or anything. It's just kind of a very basic format. It's kind of they did Larry King when Fred Armisen was on, and when Larry King had that position at CNN. But Piers Morgan isn't even as fun as that kind of dull Larry King impression. So
Yeah, I agree.
But
Well, I don't really think his Piers Morgan is very good. I'm kind of always like, that doesn't sound like Piers Morgan.
That's true. I do like his what do you think? It's very funny to me.
The stars from this one were definitely the three impressions.
Yes.
Drake was like someone said that whenever a host shows up pre-opening, it's a good indicator that the show really likes them and they think they're really, really good.
Oh, that's
and I
good.
agree full on here.
Yeah. Twitter, I actually went and checked during the Kate McKinnon Bieber impression, and it was like 99%. That is completely accurate. I was expecting hatred. I was expecting how dare they insult Justin, but everyone's like, whoever this girl is that they got to play Bieber is spot on. Great stuff.
The coyish looks to the camera, like over the shoulder, it was just so perfect.
Yeah.
It was one of those things that I think everyone... It's exactly what makes a good SNL impression, which is kind of very subtle things that everyone probably notices subconsciously, but until the impression comes out, nobody really notes it.
It almost didn't matter what she was saying. It was all in the physical performance that she nailed it. She could have been saying anything.
Yeah, because she wasn't saying anything super interesting, but it was that
something
she
about
was just
how
throwing those
egging
looks
is,
and everything.
A tradition in Canada, and she thought her neighbors were chickens or something like that. A little funny on its own, but it was mainly the gestures and the mannerisms.
Yeah, one of many Canadian shout-outs in this episode.
I was a little disappointed by the Chris Christie.
Well, I liked it enough. I liked that he instantly turned into a giant bully. I mean, that was the story, and then they did it pretty well, I thought.
Yeah, it could. I just thought it could have been deeper than, he's just a bully and he's from New Jersey. But maybe I'm just getting enough of... Maybe that's actually just the truth, and I'm getting enough of that from The Daily Show or something.
There's that. There's a lot of coverage.
See, I've really gone to Team Moynihan this season, or I've never really enjoyed him before, and so every time he comes on, I'm just like, I love this guy.
I really like Moynihan.
I do too now.
He has kind of, ever since he hurt his foot, apparently, in that Rob Ford sketch a few episodes ago, he's kind of dropped off in terms of screen time, but he's still great.
Mm-hmm. No, he was great here. It was perfect.
And as for Drake, I thought he actually stumbled a little bit in the very first few seconds of the Rodriguez impression, but after that he kind of regained his footing and he was off for the entire episode. He was great. Off in terms of off like a rocket.
Absolutely. Yeah, and he got, I think, more than where the opposite of Kate, where it was his dialogue that really sold his versus her being so physical. Like the
I'm
stuff
suing
he got
steroids
to say.
for being in my body. I'm suing Jackie Robinson for breaking into the MLB and kind of bringing this whole situation upon me. It was pretty great.
Yeah, it was a good physical performance, but the dialogue really, really helped there, I thought.
Mm-hmm. So, shall we move on to the monologue, which
Absolutely.
was a bunch of Drake factoids about Drake. Half black, half Jewish, as everyone knows. Degrassi, Toronto.
Not everybody knows that. Okay, slow your roll. I mean, maybe now that they've had, the Drake facts session that people know that, but I didn't know that.
You didn't
Oh,
learn
I
about
thought
Drake
everybody
in
knew that.
school?
I didn't know about anything regarding Drake before this episode, which, watching the opening skit, I was like, who is this charming man? And then in his monologue, I was like, oh, okay.
Is
I
it
get some
possible that you're
facts
just
now about
disconnected
him.
from youth culture?
I don't think so, because I'm really hip and really with it.
I was noticing on Twitter that during the opening monologue, everyone was talking about how they were. We have to just basically admit that we're falling in love with Drake. Everyone was charmed by him.
He was very charming. He was very good. He's probably going to come back and host again, I would say.
He absolutely should.
Yeah, he's my first pick for next year.
And I actually forgot that he appeared on the show before. He was on Weekend Update doing a rap with Jay Farrow during a Halloween episode. I only found it out because I was Googling stuff when putting together notes for this. But he did a rap about stealing candy from kids on Halloween.
I don't remember that.
He and Jay Farrow were like dressed they looked like Teen Wolf. They were in like varsity jackets and covered in hair.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I guess that probably helped him get the hosting spot here. But the main thing was he's black, he's Jewish, he was on Degrassi. There was a requisite Rob Ford shout out, and then we segued into
don't forget. This is the first appearance in this monologue, the flashback of our new cast member.
Yeah. So segueing into the sketch, it was Sashir Zameda showed up for the first time on the show. I honestly, from that appearance, I thought she was just going to kind of pop up and maybe be a token role for the rest of the night because she only had one line. She just said
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov, yeah. But then she kept showing up all over the night.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I kind of thought it was going to be the same thing where it was like, and here she is, and we never see her again. But
I was so happy her first appearance wasn't an impression of a famous black woman like Michelle Obama.
That is true, yeah.
I was so happy. Let her just be a new character initially. Don't make her the focus of the sketch. Just put her in there as one of the characters. That was exactly what I wanted.
For some reason, I feel like we've slipped into what not to wear.
That was my big concern, was that they would just, go guns blazing, throw up as every impression they couldn't have done before. Now they can, but they didn't, and I'm glad they avoided that obvious.
Yeah, I am as well. But I feel like they addressed that issue with Kerry Washington, so I don't feel like they needed to.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do that.
It's good that they didn't have an episode of Oprah where she's interviewing Michelle Obama and then Beyonce shows up as a musical guest. It would have been interesting. Would
it? No, that's overkill.
No, it wouldn't. But, so there you had the bar mitzvah. He had a little Jewish rap in there. Vanessa Bayer played another Jewish character.
Correcting his name that he wants to be addressed as now his man is Jacob.
Yep, that was pretty good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Also in the monologue, he apologized for coming up with YOLO.
Yes.
Is
Which was
he responsible for that?
Yep, he coined it.
Oh no! See, that might make him just go down so much.
Your opinion of Drake just
I thought
dropped
that
off
was a
entirely.
joke. I didn't think it was a sincere acknowledgement of him destroying society. I didn't know that.
Well, at
He
least on the plus
realized
side, you
very
can
point-
thank him for the Lonely Island song.
There's that, yeah, exactly. He did apologize. He didn't realize our annoying family and coworkers would keep doing it.
It did go beyond his control. It was like a snowball going down a hill. It wasn't Drake's fault. It wasn't Drake's fault, Leah.
I think he took responsibility for it like a man. You should acknowledge it and let's move on. It's absolutely his fault.
You're saying I should accept that he apologized? I did.
Yeah.
I was telling
Why
you
are
that he
making
apologized.
excuses for him?
I'm not making excuses. I'm saying he apologized, and also we got a pretty I almost said good and cool combined again. Ghoul. Like in Mean Girls. We got a pretty good Lonely Island song out of it. All right, so the next sketch...
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know anymore. Hip-hop classics before they were stars.
Brilliant.
Brilliant?
I was loved it. The
wait. Sorry, Brian, this is because Keenan had, by my count, 4 roles, I want to say? 4? I think so.
I think I posted it during our Facebook chat. Shouldn't Keenan be much better at reading cue cards than that? Because he was terrible reading those. It was so stilted.
I'm gonna go with Sway is terrible at reading cue cards, and Keenan was just doing such a spot on impression.
Brian. He was playing different characters. He's so in it. He's so method that he then screwed up reading cue cards in character.
The other characters
I didn't notice. For the record, I didn't notice he was.
Somebody give this man an Golden Globe or Emmy or whatever they give these kids.
You want him to follow Bill Hader? Now that Bill Hader's not there, Keenan might squeak in there with the best supporting actor in a comedy at the Emmys.
Yeah, that's not gonna.
No, come on, please! I'm starting a campaign this week.
But Keenan's not on your team, right? You didn't draft Keenan.
Keenan's on my team.
He is on your team?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you're
everything.
probably upset. We'll talk about it a little bit more later. But Russell had to deem that despite his multiple characters, he only counted for 1 appearance worth of points.
I don't think that's fair. I really don't. And I'm gonna blame Brian for bringing it up last night. That he was like, "No, don't give Keenan more than 1 point."
I brought up points that detracted from my own players that thought I should get bonus points.
You did. You brought up points that detracted
You should
from
thank
my
me. Thank
players.
me because I convinced Russell that it shouldn't count as a live sketch. It should count as a pre-recorded sketch. So that doubled his appearance points.
Well,
I'm waiting for the thank you, Leah.
I said thanks, Rob.
I didn't hear that. I didn't
you,
at all.
Brian, for
we'll listen to the tape.
Both of our
whatever.
points.
I think
Brian screwed me out of points twice last night.
I thought that the other people, aside from Keenan and that, were very, very strong until he made up for that.
Great Eminem impression from Taron Killam. I always love his Eminem impression.
Yeah, I love that. And I loved it as well that Keenan was actually on Felicity, and he wasn't in that one. And it was the only one he was in.
No one but you knew that.
We'll be right back with Keenan Facts with Leah.
My favorite of all those back impressions was absolutely Sashir as Blossom.
As Rihanna as Blossom.
Rihanna as the Blossom. I think I said on Twitter last night that needs to be an actual full sketch.
Wait, I didn't even realize the joke of how they spelled Blossom with
you didn't?
an apostrophe until now. I didn't recognize that joke. Now I get it. I was wondering about that. I was like, is that how they originally spelled it on the show? It's so weird.
I do think that needs to be like a reoccurring skit. And I thought Kyle Mooney as Joey Lawrence was hilarious.
Lots of dancing points in this sketch and tonight in general, I'll say. Lots of dancing.
Sure. The puff of smoke at the end was just the coup de grace.
Oh.
That was pretty great.
Just the cream cheese on the cake.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Is that a saying?
Sure, why not?
Yeah, it is now.
Other notable impressions, there was Beck Bennett as Mr. Wizard. Which I've actually never seen Mr. Wizard. I don't know. Was that in Canada?
Yeah.
Okay. I never saw it then. What channel was it on?
I want to say like TVO.
Okay. You're not thinking Mr. Dress Up?
No.
And that was CBC actually. Never mind.
Yeah, that's CBC.
What other impressions were there? There were a few recurring rappers.
The voiceover for the Wonder Years I thought was hysterical.
That was pretty great.
Who was doing that? Which celeb was doing that?
That was definitely Keenan
as
Flava Flav.
Who was the character?
Flava Flav.
Flava Flav.
Flava Flav, that's right. That was fantastic.
What was it? Give him your jacket.
It was.
Give him your jacket. Give him your jacket.
Give him your jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was so great. Anything else to say about it? It was surprising to see every once in a while they do one of these sketches where it throws to a lot of pre-taped bits, and that allows cast members to show up multiple times. I feel like we've had more of that in the last couple of seasons than we've ever seen on the show.
I think they just had more good impressionists. Like when you have like your Bill Hader who can do like 20 different ones, and you got Taron Killam now who does a ton alone. And then
That's
you
true.
throw
they
one or
brought
two to
back,
everyone else.
There was the famous, what was it, the Star Wars auditions with Christopher Walken, and that was like
that
was a big
classic.
sketch like 10 years ago, and then they kind of revived that format. I feel like 3 or 4 different times while Bill Hader was there.
Yeah, it's a perfect showcase for Hader, and it's a great showcase for Killen too. He's
Well,
great at that.
I also don't think it
I don't
was
think
a
Killen was in multiple.
super popular thing to do before, like 10 years ago. Like the pre-recorded thing just wasn't really existent.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe there wasn't. Maybe there were too many technical limitations on switching between pre-recorded and live a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that versus.
But Taron wasn't even in it that much. He was in. He was there in Eminem. But I know you will hate this, Brian. But I mean, that sketch was kind of built around giving Kenan Thompson and Pharaoh, to a lesser degree, a lot of impressions.
Yeah, Pharaoh had a good show with that, and that was a great
Nothing about
showcase.
Kenan.
That was a good showcase for Sashir too. It gave her her first impression at that.
Yeah, she had that, and she was on, what was it? That's So 2 Chains. Which the name of the show was probably the funniest part of that little segment. Otherwise, it was kind of blah, but that was great.
I thought that was the weak link, the 2 Chains one.
I
That's
thought it
So
was
2
decent
Chainz.
enough.
I like Lil Wayne.
It was
as,
decent. I'm
Urkel.
saying out of the whole.
Yeah, that's true.
You know.
I
Yeah,
liked
there's
Lil
worse
Wayne as Urkel a lot.
Oh god, Drake was so
I
good
did
at that.
love.
Like Drake, who's not a professional comedian, he's an actor, but he's not a professional comedian, did an impression of someone doing an impression of another character.
It's pretty great. He's
That's
pretty great.
complicated.
A little bit, yeah.
There's layers there. There's layers.
So many. Tonight was the night of layers, obviously. This, Keenan messing up cue cards in character.
Yes.
So many layers.
Yes.
Next was Nancy Grace, which has been an impression before. Who was it? Abby Elliott used to do it, didn't she?
Mhm.
And
I
then
think so.
before that, wasn't it Amy Poehler?
That sounds right.
So Noel Wells stepping into some kind of big shoes did a pretty good job.
I liked it.
Nancy Grace.
Yeah, I actually.
Scintillating.
Can I say this? This is me nitpicking because
Sure,
I thought
sure.
this episode was so well done.
What is this podcast
That-
about if not nitpicking?
Yeah, if I had to choose something, I would have much rather seen Kate McKinnon do Nancy Grace than Noelle.
You think?
Yeah, I think so.
I thought I liked Kate more as the baker. I liked she was perfect as that. I wouldn't rather have seen the reverse. I liked the way it was.
Yeah, I thought that halfway through, and then I was kind of like, well, I would have liked to have seen Adie Bryant do the baker.
The Baker does seem like something Adie Bryant could have done.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a pretty short role.
And I also thought that the episode, just in general, was short on Kate McKinnon, so they should
you
have.
will no, you will be surprised once we get to the points. But she was everywhere.
Really?
Yeah.
Thinking back, I was
Yeah.
pretty happy with it because I'm going to get some good points there. Like make Kate
but-
in there.
I will say that the Nancy Grace, specifically the Nancy Grace sections where, it's like, think about the baby, or whatever. Audience didn't seem on board. The audience was pretty quiet in a few sketches tonight.
They
like,
were
selectively.
yeah. We were
Which
talking
is
about the last.
surprising.
The audience didn't like a whole bunch of things. That I
Is
thought
Drake
were
the
killer.
kind of person who'd get a Bieber-like or One Direction-like, when we got those audiences that were clearly, like, not into the more conceptual stuff or any sketches that weren't heavy with the host?
Here he would be in Toronto. Maybe not in the States as much.
See, I don't know. I honestly have had no idea about Drake before this episode. It was kind of like Miley Cyrus for me.
But then again, you're not a
I-
teenage girl as far as we're aware.
That's true.
You weren't sure if you
I'm
wanted to
not
confirm
saying
or
that
not.
I'm not.
Okay.
But as somebody who's not like a fan of Drake, I thought that he was just phenomenal. Can I use that word?
Sure.
No,
But I
there's a
think
lot
back to
of
Rob's point, I think had Drake done, let's say if there was an SNL here, same audience, that there would have been more screaming girls just eating up everything he was doing on
But
camera,
he had
versus
the
like Justin
screaming
Bieber.
people in the dialogue, there was that group that was screaming, and he kind of chalked it up like he made a side joke about,
a lot of Canadians. Here.
Canadians.
A lot of Canadians.
Yes. So I feel like there were like diehard Drake fans of the
Probably,
audience.
I think it's safe to say the audience probably wasn't as loaded with teenage girls as the Bieber or One Direction episodes, but yeah, there might have been.
But
There might have been some play. It was very selective how quiet the audience was.
They were. It was an odd audience, I thought.
Yeah,
Quieter than normal.
is Drake somebody who's gonna get like teenage girls going?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say even in the
Really?
United States, I would say so.
Really?
Yeah,
I'm gonna-
he's He's the hot thing in hip hop right now.
He's the R. Kelly of teenage girls right now.
I think R. Kelly is the R. Kelly of teenage girls in some way.
Zing!
Boom!
Mic drop out.
I really don't
We're
know
gonna end the
anything about
podcast
Drake. I just wouldn't have guessed that Drake would be like a teenage girls thing.
I think so.
Oh, absolutely. And Rob, you were a big fan of his Cat
What happened to
Williams.
Little Bow Wow?
His Cat Williams was pretty great.
I thought it was pretty special.
It was.
I haven't watched that much Cat Williams. He's not really for me, but he seemed to have it just down, and it was pretty great. It was just amusing to me, all the little gestures and the bobbing of the head. And
That's like 3 impressions for him. That's rare for a host to do that many impressions.
It really is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, I thought that his Cat Williams, like, you know, all his little hair tosses, and when he was telling her that, you know, he hasn't been around anybody who isn't high in like 15 years, I thought that was pretty. And when he compared, I don't even remember what he said. I should have written it down. When he says, "You're crazier than a guy in squeegee pants and flip flops," or something like that. I thought, I don't know. Never mind. I like Cat Williams.
I will say that the way you sold that line, it is definitely one of the funnier lines from last night.
Should be the title of the episode.
You are crazier than a guy in squeegee pants. Was that what you said? I think so.
Yes.
Multiple
and
ellipses.
flip-flops.
Anyway, moving on. Next was the digital short, Resolution Revolution.
One of my favorites from the night.
Pretty great.
Loved it.
Again, audience not on board whatsoever. Very
That's
quiet.
weird.
But,
It's-
go ahead.
What a sucky audience, right?
Fuck you, audience.
I mean, it's like an audiences of Leah that were there last night. Except I was
The
actually
worst
on
kind of
board with
audience.
the episode.
But Sashir showed up. She basically
Yeah.
hosted that short. She didn't actually get a verse, but she was the chorus of the song.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping she would get a verse.
Pretty great in a kind of in living color Fly Girl kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or early 90s Fly Girl. I don't really know what to call it. My reference point is in living color because I'm a young person.
We know.
Aw.
So I just saw repeats of In Living Color. I wasn't there
God.
for the actual...
I remember when
Music.
Living Color was like at the height of the height. And I remember thinking to myself...
the height
really
of the
wish-
height.
I really wish it was longer, like 90 minutes. This is honestly what I was thinking to myself. I wish it was not like 90 minutes. And it'd be great if it was live, too. And they should have more music. And they go, wait, idiot. Sorry. Like, I literally thought that process. You should be longer.
You were just
like
hoping
90
Damon
minutes.
Wayans never got fired from SNL is all you were hoping. But
I just really wanted to be a Fly Girl.
is
like,
it
remember
Flag Girl
J-Lo?
or Fly Girl?
As a Fly Girl?
I
Fly
thought you
Girl.
said Flag Girl.
I'm sorry,
Different
I'll
role.
enunciate better.
I think you actually did say Flag Girl.
I think you're an idiot.
We'll go back to the tape. But
I just really wanted to be a Fly Girl.
I just really wanted to be a Fly Girl.
Taryn got a verse in there. Pharaoh got a good verse in there.
Oh, there was
Drake
yeah.
Drake did the best verse, obviously.
Yes.
Obviously.
But yeah, it was a pretty great idea. It was a pretty great execution. Watching, I feel like there's gonna be a GIF out there of Taron Killam eating all those donuts,
The donuts.
and maybe Jay Farrow with his sex doll,
Yes.
blow up doll. Sorry.
Was
Don't wanna
Taryn
offend the
dressed
sex
as
doll audience.
Link?
Yes.
When,
He
okay,
was definitely,
okay.
He
When
was
I saw
definitely
that, I was
Legend of
like,
Zelda Link. He definitely was.
all right. Okay.
That little cosplay cutaway was great. I think Russell's going to screen cap it for the,
Oh, the
image for
cosplay
this
was my
podcast.
favorite. I love the cosplay so much.
You
I
were
did too.
resilient. Good job, man. Where did they shoot that? That must have been on the roof of 30 Rock, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Looked like it.
The payoff that it all was only up until the 18th of January was a nice touch.
Yeah.
I thought they could have gone out on a stronger gag. It kind of seemed like that was the obvious implication and subtext of the sketch, and they didn't have anything else to end on.
Rob, you didn't get it. Yesterday was the 18th of January.
Oh my god!
Like,
I did.
real time.
So,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Oh my
Inception.
god! Wow.
Mind blown.
And they probably made that before the 18th, so
Yeah.
they were looking
They
ahead
probably
to the. Oh my
did!
god, you guys! Whole
They're
new
so
light.
smart. They know what day it airs.
They knew somehow.
Somebody in that building had a calendar, and I praise them for that.
They should get a raise.
Multimedia.
So, and then next was the sleepover sketch with 80 Bryant.
This was my weak link. Weak link for the night.
That was your weak link? I thought it was a little long. Yeah. They could have come up with a few more jokes in it. And the ending where the explanation was she's 25 and she was in a coma forever didn't really work for me. I don't know why.
No, it didn't. 80 Bryant humping a heart-shaped pillow didn't work. There was just a lot of... And it wasn't a bad... I'm not saying it was bad. But there was a lot about the skit. But out of, like, such a good episode, this was definitely the weakest link.
I did like it more than you. I definitely did. Drake's
Drake's
father character was great.
It was not my
Drake's father character was.
He just his mustache and his weird...
Did anyone else get Steve Harvey from the mustache?
Yeah, I was trying to think. I was trying to think. I think Steve Harvey.
Much thinner Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
I like that.
Watch out, Keenan.
It was the majority of the female cast together, which is another thing I wanted to see Sashir in, just playing with all the other female cast members in one sketch.
Yep.
That there wasn't a ton for all of them to do. It was mostly about age, but
they didn't
it was
really
still
interact with one another. I think the only person who had a line other was Kate McKinnon. Was the only other one?
They all had lines.
Yeah,
I went through it and
I
double checked because I was doing the unofficial point tally, but they all had lines. And that was one of the details. There were details in the sketch I really liked. There was Kate McKinnon always doing a really high, weird voice for some reason.
I did like the Kate McKinnon voice.
And some of the 80 Bryant lines, like, my neck is so cold now. Such a weird detail. And
what was
the line, my favorite line of the sketch, if you're looking for your dad, he's in the palm of my hand.
That was my favorite line as well. There were some like little jokes in there, but overall weak.
I'm getting whiplash from your reaction right now.
It was so good. Hated it.
Guys, that line was the high point of my night, let alone my week, but it was pure garbage.
It's like you're in my head, Rob.
So it was...
Get out.
Actually, I'll mention Cecily Strong was in there. Cecily Strong really light tonight.
Yeah, I was disappointed.
Really, yeah, I was surprised. I thought her and Kate were really light, but evidently Kate was...
No, Kate was the opposite of light. She was heavy.
Huh. Heavy cream.
But yeah, worth noting that Sashir was, besides 80, she was the central role of that sketch.
That was nice. She was just one of the cast members.
I guess because she was playing the daughter of Drake, and they were both black. But it was interesting to see Brandon.
He's half Jewish. I don't know if he...
So obviously Vanessa Bayer should have been playing the daughter, not the mother.
Exactly.
All right, and then the first song of the night. Actually, he did a couple of medleys. Yeah. Started from the bottom / trophies. Thompson introed, so Leah got a few points from that.
Woo woo! I noticed that. I was really excited.
I have not actually listened to Drake's stuff in depth. I really liked it. I liked his stuff tonight. I will actually probably check out his music.
I liked it. Have we ever seen someone do two songs like done medleys before? I don't remember ever seeing that.
There have been a couple.
Jay-Z,
I can't remember off the top of my head.
What? Jay-Z and Betty White.
Okay.
Yeah. He did like an 8-minute long like mashup of songs.
I'm sure I didn't watch that.
And I like the spotlight, the red spotlight on this song, the blue spotlight the next song. It was a nice low budget way to make it stylistically different.
Yeah, made it stick out for sure. Something you'd catch if you were just flipping channels. If people still did that.
See, here's the problem. And I actually made notes on both of his songs. Okay. And one was a like, one was a dislike. And the first performance that he did, can I say this is the downside of him rapping really, really slowly, because I can actually make out what he's saying. And one of his lines was, "I can turn your boy into a man." Weird? I think
for
so.
me.
Why is that weird, Leah? Sounds pretty homophobic right now.
That's kind of a weird line. I don't know what to take from
In context,
that.
was he talking about himself?
That's what I was hoping. Otherwise, he sounds a lot like Michael Jackson.
She's really backing herself in her corner. You can tell.
She really has.
High-pitched tone of her voice.
I think...
Really?
No, I heard the line and I was like, that's odd. But I heard he raps a lot about his daddy issues, and so I don't know if that was one of the songs.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check his stuff out, and then we can
I
have a serious
won't. I
discussion
skimmed
about
through
this
it
later.
on whatchamacallit,
Oh,
the
you didn't
old
like it?
Did anyone get any of the song picks from this little group?
Apparently, a bunch of people in the group got it.
Apparently,
none of
well,
us.
he sang 4 songs, right? So
Yeah, so if you identified one of the songs in the right slot,
yeah,
you'd
you'd have to be an idiot to not get any points from that one.
Zero.
Apparently, a bunch, like 4 or 5 people got "Hold On, We're Going Home," which was the first song in his second slot.
I almost
didn't
went with that
get any
as the second song.
I had that as the first song because that's his big single. But he pulled a Cyrus. He did an acoustic.
Yeah, I did the "We're Going" as my second, or my first song choice, not my second.
So next,
But I made a bunch of stipulations on my song choices.
stipulations.
How do you make stipulations? It's 1-2.
Because I was so certain I knew. I was like in my mind and knew what he was going to do. So my first song choice was Going Home. And my second song choice was Wu-Tang Clan Forever. But Wu-Tang Clan had to come out and Bill Murray had to come out and introduce him. And none of that happened.
Why does Bill Murray have to come out?
Because he's friends with the Wu-Tang Clan in my head.
What is
A weird stipulation. I have a confession to make. I'll make it on this podcast right now. But an hour or so before, I Facebooked our friend of the show, Jared Scharf, who's the guitarist in the SNL band. When he was talking about Drake, I said, "Do you know what song he's singing?"
Wow.
Now, he liked my comment, but did not respond to it. I was so no.
Does he?
You're
He
gonna-
knows about the league.
Respond to it.
He knows about the league, correct?
He does. I've tweeted to him about it before.
And wait, and so you were. So on, has he actually talked to you, or are you just calling a friend of the show when you tweet at him and
I
comment on his
consider him a
Facebook
deep
stuff?
personal friend because he has favorited my tweets before. So yes, friend of the show. We were actually conversing back and forth, not just me, but like he would talk about something in the show and I respond to it. Like
Favoriting
live.
tweets is probably the laziest form of human communication. You know?
I will take it.
All right.
FYI, my song picks were The Language and Too Much.
I think The Language was my second song. Just because that was like the highest of the
That's why I went with them.
internet singles or whatever. I don't know. I really have to come up with... I just start after throwing stuff to the wind with new strategies and stuff and see if anything pays off. Because
I started off so strong. I kept getting like 1 or 2 for like the first like 2-3 weeks. I was okay. I was getting some. So like, oh, this is easy. Just go to Wikipedia, look up singles.
I probably get the first song like 80% of the time.
I haven't gotten one in weeks.
Ooh.
Yeah, I haven't gotten one since, I think, the second week.
Yeah.
Well, we suck.
Yeah.
Next up was Update. Adequate Update.
That was good.
Adequate. Yeah.
No jokes really stick out.
No bad characters. I enjoyed everything that was on it. No one was like a dud for me.
Leah, you sound like you might have remembered a joke.
There's one in the back of my mind that I really, really enjoyed, but
I
it's gone
enjoyed
forever.
the overarching sketch of the Jacqueline Bisset not coming
Yes.
down to set. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so did
I thought the characters were a little weak compared to usual Update standards, but it was still fun.
Who else was on it besides Jack?
Huffington.
Ariana Huffington.
Oh, yeah. She's
I-
never
Again,
really
wasn't as
a hard
memorable, I
sell
think, as
for
other
me.
Huffingtons.
Oh, I love Ariana Huffington. She's always good.
I think it's like a recurring thing where we're like, we love Pedrad, we love everything she does.
Yeah.
Kind of weak writing for her.
I
Yeah.
thought it was decent enough. I didn't think it was too much of a dud.
Mhm.
I've seen worse update desk characters in the last couple of weeks than that one.
But like, I immediately threw out what
I
she was
know.
talking about.
I know what it was.
Go ahead.
It was the Florida, the only law in Florida is you can't have more than 20 items.
Yeah, and that got a kind of a half of an oh from the audience.
Yeah.
And for
But
me at
Florida's
home,
stupid,
I was actually going
right?
oh to my TV. I really was.
It's like you were there, Rob.
I did like, as part of the Bissett gag, when she stopped to comb her hair, and then she combed her hair
To
up.
tease it.
And
Something's
Seth was
"That's
like,
even
don't
good."
comb your hair up, you'll look crazy.
What I loved was watching the audience members that she was stopping to hug and all that. Like,
Yeah.
just
That's
really
always
laughing
fun.
at them.
Always seeing them, like, laughing, and then
Yeah.
going up another level of, like, oh my god, whenever they get touched or interacted
Yeah,
with.
exactly. And she just
The
kept
guy
doing
that
it.
she petted his hair, he was really excited.
Did he have a thing for Vanessa Bayer, or did he
He's
have a
going to
thing
be
for Jacqueline
telling
Bisset?
that story for years.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they all will. I just like some of the weirder choices, like when she just turned around for no reason. Pretty great.
I just love how they introduced. Oh no, they sent her the wrong part, and they cut to her in the rafters sitting there.
This was actually a better episode for Bear.
Yeah, she
like,
did.
overall.
She did really well as well.
Yeah.
Her and McKinnon are actually near the top of the points.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen her, like, heavy in a couple of weeks.
I think we've talked a lot about how McKinnon and Strong kind of circumvented her, because I guess they have more established roles where Byer can be an every woman / any Jewish character whatsoever. But, maybe because Strong wasn't in much of this episode, Byer really got to shine.
That'd be it.
Yeah.
Next was Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular / Indiana Rahat. Was it Rahat? Was that the name?
Rahat?
Rahat. It was definitely...
Again, friend of the show, Jared, tweeted about it.
Brian, you were talking about you were going to go on Halloween as Indiana Rahat.
I think that'd be a really super deep pull, which I just love for Halloween.
Well, see, now this was a one-joke skit.
It was.
So explain to me why you guys loved this one so much. But
I loved it. It was probably my least favorite of the night. Again, I love Pedrad, but I thought it was probably my least favorite of the night.
What I liked about it was Drake.
Drake was all in on the energy. Yeah.
He was all in on the energy.
Absolutely. Again,
but it was
host.
very much a one, note.
Jared spelled it in his tweets. I effing love Drake in this Rihat sketch. Rihat.
Yeah, it was definitely T. You spelled it with an N before, and I almost corrected you, but I didn't want to be an N.
You want to pull a good guy, Matt?
Yeah. But, there were kind of a lot of really easy jokes with, she never interacts with the person or object that she's supposed to.
Yeah.
But the one that did get to me for some reason was every time Drake said, if there is someone in the audience who knows her or might know where she's from or may know what language she's talking about, or if they can just Google the name Rahat and figure out what country she's from, that'd be great, guys. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I thought Drake absolutely was the star of that sketch.
Should we talk for a second? A rare... Russell calls it an NPC based on, like, video game characters who aren't actually actual players, but, like, computer-controlled. But
non-player.
A character who doesn't talk. A rare appearance by Kenan Thompson there. And then Beck Bennett and Mike O'Brien playing those warriors or assassins.
Brooks was the other guy who worked there who pulled her out at one point.
Who did have a couple lines, so he did get
he had. That. He came out twice and had lines both times.
But one of only 2 appearances by Mike O'Brien tonight, and he didn't talk.
Ugh, sadness.
I was actually kind of surprised by Beck Bennett. He wasn't in it. I guess he did get the digital skit at the end of the night. Yep. But, I mean, overall, it was pretty Beck Bennett.
Sorry, you were surprised that he wasn't in the show much, or that he was in this sketch without any lines?
That he wasn't in the show much at all. Like,
okay.
I mean, Kyle Mooney.
Yeah, he had a good episode.
Yeah,
for a future player. Yep. Leah starting to get a little jealous of
who got that.
Kyle Mooney to me.
You guys swapped him, right?
I originally drafted Beck Bennett. She originally drafted Kyle Mooney.
And you swapped him.
I proposed a trade immediately after the Miley Cyrus episode with Kyle Mooney, the digital short where he's about to have sex with her.
Yes.
Just on a whim, on a hunch, and Leah accused me last week of having bad hunches, but
I do think you have bad hunches. I think I'm gonna be fine. I think you're gonna
we'll get to the points and we'll see.
You thought you were on the cusp of saying this guy is going to be huge. I gotta get him for I
never thought huge. Don't put words in my mouth. I thought he was going to have a niche as the weirdo.
See, and that's why I drafted him originally. It was because I thought he would. And then the first couple of episodes, I was like, you know what? He's more like a third season comer-upper.
Do you really have hunches for the feature place? I was totally guessing. I have no idea who to pick here.
Who do you end up with?
Mike O'Brien and Noel.
Okay, so kind of...
Which I've done well with Noel.
Yeah, so kind of 50-50 there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I thought he was going to be kind of a younger version of whenever Fred Armisen just plays a weirdo.
Yeah, that's fair. It seems to be working.
Mm-hmm.
As he's not part Japanese and Venezuelan, I don't think Kyle Mooney will ever live.
He'll never be able to put on blackface.
True.
Play Obama.
True.
Yep. All right.
Why is it acceptable to put on yellow face? But
what are we talking about Saturday Night Live, or are we talking about How I Met Your Mother?
I was thinking about the Chinese skit they did a couple of years ago about the workers in the iPod.
At the Apple place. And they also had what was it? Nassim Pedrad and Will Forte have both played, I think, Chinese.
Yes, they have.
Chinese president and translator or something.
Yeah, they've done it a couple of times, and
I think when it's the impression, like it's an impression of a specific person, I think that's fair game. There's nothing wrong with that. It's when you're just playing character for a character's sake. If the Chinese president is in the news, it's a huge story. They have to have someone do it. They have no Asian cast members.
But at the time, they had Fred Armisen.
True.
But if they had done that with a black character, like if there had been no black players on the show, and they had put somebody, which I guess they did do with
Daryl Hammond,
right? Yeah.
Daryl Hammond playing blackface while they had Kenan Thompson on the bench.
Well, I mean, you know.
Should we just move on?
Sure.
So then there was the recurring, the second time with Vanessa Byers' poetry teacher.
This was my least favorite.
I rewatched the Miley Cyrus one in part because I was trying to figure out which of the characters had come back from that first sketch, like which of the student ones to get extra points for recurring characters.
Yeah.
But the key difference was in the first one, the sketch was based almost entirely around Vanessa Byers' like little vocal mannerisms, like okay, okay, and it was really funny. And then this time it was more about the poetry the students had actually written, and it didn't hit nearly as well for me.
I thought this one was much better than the first one, and her vocal things are not funny at all. Let's move on.
And so, all right. I did like the little detail of Kenan Thompson going, "Make it rain," and then he threw coins in the air that rained down on him.
I thought Kenan was pretty good in this skit. Yeah.
Of course you did. Mike O'Brien had a recurring character.
Finally, they actually got you say lines and be an important part of a sketch.
Is this his first
and
recurring
broke character?
God!
He did. He lost 2 points for breaking character.
I shouldn't have pointed that out.
No, you shouldn't have, Brian.
No, I noticed it anyway. I was going to say something. But is this Mike O'Brien's first recurring character?
I guess so. It'd have to be.
Until we get another,
Until the investigative reporter comes back.
Yes.
Which he should, because that was
his
funny.
name?
Which it should.
What else could that investigative reporter talk about, though?
Wait, hold on. I have notes. Anything.
He chased down bugs. That was great. He could do anything. Investigative reporter who investigates bizarre things. I'm sensing, Rob, a spinoff, a movie spinoff of this character.
The next MacGruber.
Birds vs. Wayne's World.
The next MacGruber.
The next, it's
a
Pat.
hard R spinoff for this investigative reporter.
Cecily could be in there. It'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and should O'Brien get points for being mentioned in Update as her boyfriend?
I didn't know whether to bring that up or not. The kind of subtext of Cecily Strong reporting on that story about the guy who fell off a bike and had an erection for 5 weeks. So she was going to buy a bike for her boyfriend, Mike O'Brien.
Yeah, I thought that was, a little too much.
Well, I'm guessing 95% of the SNL audience has no idea those two are dating.
More than that. I'd say a good 98% have no
All right,
idea.
If you want to go up 3 points, fine.
It's significant.
But I like
Is that really how much you... Go ahead,
I do contribute to her, smile and laugh to the fact that she was, referencing...
Yeah, she wasn't just saying boyfriend in the general term, comedic sense, not specifically referring to anyone. She knew she was talking about.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd agree with that, but I'm sure Mike O'Brien...
No, go back and watch it.
I'm sure Mike O'Brien was blushing either at the read-through or backstage at that joke. Whenever that joke was added. Next was the song, Hold On We're Going Home acoustic, and From Time featuring, I think, how you pronounce this, Janae Aiko?
Janae, it was.
Janae Aiko.
Janae, yeah.
Which I thought was lovely.
It was nice.
Can I point out my second note I made about his performance, which was the ad-libbed "Tell Lauren to cut to break so we can make love."
I thought that was
Loved
funny.
it.
I thought that was fun.
That was
Okay.
great.
I thought you were going to come down against it.
No,
Like
I
everything
said
else.
I made 2 notes. One was against one of his lyrics, and one was for it. And I thought that was a great little touch, in the moment. And they did have some weird sexual thing going on.
I think he's single right now. He used to date Rihanna, which he
I'm
mentioned in
thinking he's banging
Janae
what-
Aiko.
Yeah, whatever her name is.
And immediately following that, with I thought a very classy, he ended the segment with "Everybody give it up for Janae Aiko."
Yeah, that was nice.
Oh,
and-
yeah, he was
that
super
and in the,
gracious about the entire thing.
Yeah,
Like Canadian.
Yeah, I thought it was very classy in the good nights to say congrats to Sashir on her first show. Thanks, Janae Aiko, and watch Seth's new show.
Yeah, Seth Stewart was really excited about that.
Yeah, he jumped out of the background into frame actually on my 4x3 TV. Actually, no, yeah.
Wait, so are we cutting to the goodbyes? Because can I point some?
We can
We
talk
got 2 other
about the
sketches.
goodbyes.
Mike O'Brien once again on the sideline, looking miserable for the first half of the goodbyes.
Why is he so sad?
Why
Just
is
has
he
that
so
face.
sad?
Everybody loves you, Mike. Except maybe the
Everyone
other
loves
writers. I
you,
don't know.
right? You really pissed off
Yeah, when he moved up into cast, that really pissed off the writers, I'm sure. They seem like a petty bunch.
Tim
They really
Robinson in the background is doing this
Oh, yeah.
Machiavellian.
You know Tim Robinson is going over every one of those cue cards at the last second. Nope, take this joke out, take this joke out. I was happy not remembering Tim Robinson.
Aw.
Thanks for bringing him back.
Even the Amish website?
Did not care for
The
I don't
one
think-
sketch I remember.
Yeah, I don't think he ever really did much for me.
Okay. And then after the second song, there was a reprise of Morning Miami.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's fun.
Probably diminishing returns, but I did like it.
I like the Topher Grace throw out.
Topher Grace, once again.
Yeah.
He was in the first one, and mentioned in the first one, and then he tweeted about the sketch.
Yeah, he actually tweeted.
Where he said,
about
like, this Friday, I'm going to appear on Morning Miami. Pretty great.
I enjoyed
I imagine Topher Grace doesn't have too much other things going on that he can tweet about things like that.
Did you ever read, it was like BuzzFeed or Grantland or something, where they had a column every week which was, what is Topher Grace up to right now?
No, but I wish I had.
And it was very rarely, or they always found something to talk about, which was very surprising. They had to go deep on, even if it was like a TMZ thing or something, they always had something to talk about.
I'll tell you a fun story about Topher Grace when we're done with this.
No, you have to tell it on air.
Or is it
No.
sexual?
Your Hollywood connections.
No, it's
Come
not.
on.
It's not sexual. It's a story about standing in Magnolia Bakery in New York City and Topher Grace coming in, and Magnolia Bakery always has a huge line. Like, you're out the door, you're waiting for like 30 minutes.
Did he
to get
pull
in.
the "Do you know who I am" card?
He went up to the counter, cut everybody in line, went up to the counter, then proceeded to have a conversation with his girlfriend at the counter after he cut everybody. And when the person came up to him and said, what would you like? He looked at them and went, "Excuse me, do you not see me talking?"
Oh my god.
In just true douchebag form.
I'm starting to think you're making up some of these stories, because every celebrity we ever mention, you say, "Oh, I have a story. He was an
And they're
asshole."
Douchebags. Maybe
Because
Leah
they're-
gives off this vibe that makes celebrities act terribly in front of her.
The common denominator in all these stories is Leah.
That's true. Although I have another story about Adam Sandler, which I wasn't present for, at Magnolia Bakery, where he gave everybody like $50 tips that was working.
That's
which
what I hear
is-
about Adam Sandler all the time. That he's just the nicest
Yeah.
guy.
Is it Magnolia line?
Another Magnolia one. How many Magnolia Bakery stories do you have? 62?
She
Well, I
goes there
mean-
a lot.
Yeah, cupcake.
Anyway, back to Morning Miami.
I like the physical acting here again. Kate McKinnon was like looking at her cleavage for a bit, like playing with
I
like
like
the
that.
gap.
Spec offer. Yeah,
Yeah.
and Drake was doing great thing with his
Yes,
eyes.
yes.
Especially after the first take. But and also there was one part. There were a few times where he did some weird vocal inflections throughout the night that always made me laugh.
Yeah.
There was one where he's like, "We get down and dirty with some hot potatoes" or something like that.
I also enjoyed when Kate broke into song and it was immediately shushed.
Yeah, I did. Like
Singing points.
Singing points, yes.
And what was Bobby Moynihan's new name for BF?
Oh,
Burt Finger?
Burt
Butt
Finger Blastin' or something.
yeah, Finger
like
Blast.
that was great.
Yeah, Finger Blast was right.
And finally, the last sketch was another digital short from Good Neighbor. After they missed the last few episodes, I feel like not my favorite.
I liked it enough.
Yeah.
I would have preferred seeing Michael Bryan in there for the points, but I enjoyed it.
There was a couple of times I couldn't quite understand what Kyle Mooney was saying, and that was really annoying.
He was saying, "I know." I don't know if you got that. I think that's the name of the sketch.
No, and
He
he
said, "I
would
know."
follow up with "I know," blah 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 blah. Like
It was
I couldn't
always
understand.
something along the lines of "I know I made that happen" or something like
Yeah.
that. Like I know you broke up with your girlfriend. I've been hooking up with her. Or there's a fire right now. I know I started.
I said it.
That was the one that made me laugh.
Yeah, that was good.
That was the one that made me laugh as well. It was also the only one that I could understand his entire sentence
Okay.
regarding.
I enjoyed when he was a ghost and then came back from being a ghost. That was fun.
There were a couple little details. For some reason, Beck Bennett going like, "Why don't you get back in your cute little body?"
Yes, I
didn't-
love that.
For some reason, that
I
didn't make
did
me
like
laugh.
that.
I don't know why.
Oh, I love that so much.
And also
Yeah, because I was kind of like, whoa, wait, what just...
the post-production effect of just turning Kyle Mooney's ghost upside down to put him back in his body. That made me laugh.
That made me laugh as well.
I always enjoy when they end with a super weird sketch.
And so that was the show. I think we're all in agreement that it was a really good episode.
Yeah,
Strong
solid.
Yeah.
overall. Leah and us agreeing for once on
Oh
something.
my god!
I hate to do it, but yeah.
you
it
hate
was-
you hate to agree with us.
I hate being positive.
it
You're
kills my soul
disagreeing
a
with
little
agreeing.
bit. Yeah.
And songs were pretty good. Drake was great.
Yeah,
We're
you should
hoping
absolutely
Drake
come
comes back next year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're going to all hope that we're the first in the host draft to beat Leah to drafting him.
Yes. Just for the outrage from her in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I might not do it. I would probably wait another season. So
Oh,
we're doing this in 2
She's
years.
backing off, Brian. This is our
She's just
chance.
saying that. It's a ploy, Rob. Don't fall for it. If you get a pickup before her, don't fall for it.
She's pulling some Tim Robinson behind-the-sines Machiavellian shit.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna tweet him. Don't go on SNL for another 2 years.
Yeah, I am. I'm gonna because when I tweeted at Jake Johnson, it worked so well.
And Drake will be
Right
like,
now.
"Who's this random lady?" I don't know. I'll listen to her.
What's
I
this
think
podcast?
it's because my picture is of a Dilophosaurus. You think if I put a picture of myself up, people would actually like tweet back at me?
Jake Johnson would suddenly be like, "I have to get on SNL because this woman's tweeting at me and I want to hook up with her." That's the implication you're
That's
putting
less
out.
impressive than a dinosaur tweeting at you, though, isn't it?
How many times do you think Jake Johnson just wanders around going, "I should have replied to that dinosaur"?
I should have replied to that tweet. I'm sure he keeps acting up.
I mean,
He's
it's a
gonna be in Jurassic
dinosaur
Park, right?
still around. Was it Jake Johnson? I thought Chris Pratt I thought was confirmed, and I thought they were probably up for the same role.
I thought Jake Johnson was confirmed.
I heard Jake Johnson as a rumor. I think Chris Pratt is confirmed now.
For what?
Oh, I'm so
Jurassic
disappointed.
World.
Yeah,
See,
I thought
he probably walks
Chris
around
Pratt.
thinking it's because I didn't respond to that Dilophosaurus.
Well, he's probably bummed out because it's the director is the guy who directed him in Safety Not Guaranteed.
That's the same director?
Yep,
What?
doing Jurassic World.
Weird.
Weird leap. And I didn't really like Safety Not Guaranteed.
I enjoyed it.
Eh.
I wouldn't buy it.
Really liked it. I had bought it. Bought it, own it, watch
Bought
it.
The three its of Leah.
Oh, it's been boughten.
Along with Sense and Sensibility. What?
Those are the two movies you own?
The only two. She has a huge DVD shelf, just those two.
A bookshelf.
She cleared out those books. Get those out of there. Put these two
I don't
DVDs
There are
Any-
up.
5 shelves. One has one DVD. The other is the other DVD. One has a shrine to Jake Johnson.
And photo albums of cats.
There you go.
I'm getting a really good image of Leah right now. Just of her life, of her spare time. So let's move on to news now. The Golden Globes were last week after we recorded our last episode.
Is
And
that
we're-
news?
Well, we could talk about some of the SNL-related
SNL ties.
Yeah, we'll do it.
12 Years a Slave won Best Drama, and it apparently has a small role by Taron Killam. I know nothing about it. Anybody else?
I'm sure he was integral to that win.
Yeah.
Are you sure that you're not mistaking it for the 12 Days Free skit that...
I think, a lot of Globe... it's kind of a controversy that's shown up in last week. A lot of Globe voters saw that sketch, thought it was the movie.
Yeah, that's it.
Immediately awarded it the Best Drama prize. And then Miley Cyrus didn't even show up to the Globes to accept the award, and they were very, very hurt.
They were shocked when Killam didn't give the speech, too.
Yeah. Well, we all know the Globes has that reputation. They just want stars to show up. So they were obviously really hoping... They were really hoping the SNL cast had shown up, and then instead they got, Michael Fassbender, Chiwetel Ejiofor, a mention to Brad Pitt. I don't know who these people are.
They haven't hosted SNL recently.
Yeah. Brooklyn Nine-Nine was the big controversy for winning Best Comedy.
Not so much controversy as pleasant surprise, I think. Most people are like, really? All right.
No,
nice.
I saw controversy. The AV Club was up in arms.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Who is it?
It's a
Sean
good show.
O'Neill, who I really find
Brooklyn
funny.
Nine-Nine is really good.
He does the news wires, and I find him really funny. He just tweeted, "Brooklyn not yet."
Ooh, harsh.
Yeah, burns.
But the Globes have a tradition of giving it to new shows, new actors, new whatever.
think that's what people don't talk about. They really like shiny new things.
That's why he did it. I mean, that's the Globe's history, apparently. They always give to newer
I thought
stuff.
the Globe's history was that they just give the award to whoever pays them the most. Isn't
Well,
that what the
probably
Globes
that
is known
too.
for?
I mean,
It's like the least respected award show that, like, even below the
People's
MTV
Choice
Movie
Awards?
Awards.
Do you think it's below
Oh,
People's
God,
Choice Awards?
no.
Oh,
Does
yes.
anybody even watch the People's Choice Awards?
Nothing's
No.
below the People's Choice Awards.
But who was it? Sandberg.
Yeah.
Sandberg winning Best Actor. I think even people who super love Brooklyn Nine-Nine, as I do, will fully admit that Sandberg, as much as he's likable, is probably not the high point of that show.
Can I get a list of who else was nominated with them?
I could look it up.
Because I kind of have a hard-on for Andy Samberg, so I'm not gonna...
I wasn't upset by it at all. I was a little surprised, more than the show winning. The show winning, I thought, made more sense than him winning. Not that he's not good.
He beat
or funny
Michael
or
J.
charming.
Fox and Jim
Yeah, that's
Parsons.
the surprise.
And Jim
Well,
Parsons.
Jim Parsons, ugh.
Well, nobody
But Michael
watched
J. Fox not winning.
To be fair,
Michael J. Fox
nobody's
not winning
watched
with the show.
Michael J. Fox's show. I feel like it's really low in the ratings.
It has dipped a lot.
Even lower than Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing if you have watched it, Leah. You can admit to watching a TV
No,
show.
I've watched it. I'm saying Michael J.
You don't think he was great? You don't think he's great on the show?
No, he's not. It's a piece of shit show, and it's not great.
That's
I'm
fine.
Sorry.
We can't argue with you because we haven't seen it. So you are getting away scot-free on this one.
I-
We're not
But
gonna make
you're
fun of you.
saying
I
he
watch
beat
it.
Michael J. Fox. Like Michael J. Fox should have automatically won.
Well, I think
Fox is
people
an industry favorite.
I think a lot of people who don't watch the show at least think that there's a lot of goodwill from Michael J. Fox
Absolutely.
after coming back to
There-
TV for 15 years.
Yeah, but
after
that's a
15
little offensive, right? In
Well,
itself.
I mean, I don't know if that's. I don't think it has anything to do with his condition or anything. I think it's just people. He's a TV veteran.
People
He's
love
just so
Michael J.
lovable.
Fox.
He
right?
was very well respected.
He still is,
He
absolutely.
still is. I mean,
And
he's-
even on a certain level, it might just be people who are predicting that an award show will either give it to him for being a TV industry veteran or for coming back to TV after fighting Parkinson's. But people were surprised that they didn't take that kind of obvious sentimental turn.
I was just happy Jim Parsons did win. I
That's
think I actively booed the screen when I saw him nominated.
I can't find everybody else though.
I think him winning once is enough. He's won before, right?
He wins like
Like,
every Emmy, I want to say.
I mean, he's not doing anything different. Quit giving it to him. Come on. He's the same.
Let's go into
you know.
the better actor win here.
Oh, he also beat Jason Bateman for Arrested Development. Which
That's-
I was kind of surprised to see. Again,
Yeah,
like
that surprises me a bit.
unlike Andy Samberg for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Jason Bateman was the only nomination for Arrested Development as far as I'm aware.
Yeah.
And again, he's probably not the highlight of the show so much, even though he's the leading guy.
I think it's because
Yeah.
And then Don Cheadle for House of Lies, which is one of those ones
House of
where
Lies.
the Golden Globes
Don Cheadle, I
categorizes
think-
it as a comedy for some reason.
Yeah, I mean they did really weird categorizations this year for comedy and musical. The movies, none of them fall under that
not at all.
category. It was the most bizarre thing.
I have it right in front of me. So American Hustle won Best Comedy.
Which is absurd. Come on.
Over Her, Inside Llewyn Davis, well, that's a musical, so that counts, but Nebraska and Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. They're just funny dramas. They're not comedies. That's a difference.
They're not that's them stretching. It's like how many...
Amy Adams won for Best Actress in a Comedy for American Hustle.
That's absurd.
Meryl Streep in August. Actually, I haven't seen that. That might be a full-out comedy.
I don't think it is.
Based on the poster, a lot of people wrestling. That looks like a comedy to me. And then Frances Ha, Before Midnight, I guess it kind of borderlines a comedy, I could say. I don't know.
It's the most super fucking depressing comedy you could come up with.
That is true. That is true.
Like, after 10 years, we find out what happened to this madly in love couple, and
the
they're
most
fucking
uncomfortable
miserable.
final 20 minutes ending in...
Oh, God, yeah.
Yep.
If that's a comedy, I'm gonna pass.
Well, let's go back to our
I will
SNL
say Her
teaser.
is a comedy.
No.
I will say Her is a comedy. I think
Really?
So. I think it tips right over the edge. It got Best Screenplay at the Globes, which I think I don't know if that was for Best Comedy or Best Drama.
It's just screenplay.
Okay, but
It's
it
a
does.
screenplay.
It's original versus adapted, I think. So.
It does have voice cameos by Bill Hader and Kristen Wiig.
True. They were both very funny in it.
Yep. Have you seen that, Leah?
I saw it yesterday.
Has Leah seen it?
And Brian answers to Leah now.
Oh, I thought you said me.
No, I said Leah,
No.
Brian. I said Leah.
I am going to see it tomorrow.
Okay, it's really good. It's my favorite of the year so far.
That's what everybody's saying. I'm going to see it. I didn't even I'm not taking any shortcuts to watch it. I'm going to go to the cinema.
I went to the cinema.
And have the full experience.
I went with a friend who thought it was only good when we left, and then I saw her again 2 days ago for her birthday, and she was telling me, I thought about it, it's amazing. It's
Your friends are really annoying, Rob.
It's the
Can I
same
just
friend
say
who
that?
it's the same friend who said about the league that it was a nerd's wet dream, so. And then finally, Amy Poehler winning Best Actress in a Comedy for Parks after all these years.
So overdue.
Finally.
So nice.
And
you could see she was genuinely shocked at that.
Not as shocked as Andy Samberg, but
No.
still genuinely shocked. I think Amy Poehler prepared something. Andy Samberg clearly prepared nothing.
No.
Where it was just like, the cast is good, crew solid. I found it really funny. We can segue into either Lonely Island making a deal with Fox/FX or Parks and Rec being renewed for a 7th season.
See, I read about the Lonely Island thing when the season of SNL started this year, because the one guy who didn't get picked up, right?
No. You're thinking of Good Neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Good Neighbor was a sketch group for the audience. Sketch group, Kyle Mooney and Beck Bennett come from it. They had a director friend who also got hired to SNL, and they're the ones doing the digital shorts. But they had a third cast member in that sketch group who was left out after auditioning.
Yeah, who auditioned and never heard anything
unfortunately
back.
will probably be forgotten to time.
Aww.
Might sound harsh to say, but
Not to me. I don't know your name or whatever you've done, but
Call me.
call me. We can go rollerblading.
But The Lonely Island has made a deal with Fox FX. The wording of it, as far as I'm aware, they're going to make digital web series.
That's what I
Non-musical
like
digital
shorts.
web series, because any musical stuff would interfere with their Universal Records deal. And then any web series that do well enough will probably be developed into a TV show for either Fox or FX, which seems to be a path that's, I don't know, it was something that a lot of people talked about when web series started coming around, like maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And Comedy Central, I think, has been doing that a lot lately. I think was it Broad City? That's Amy Poehler's web series that is being turned into a series now, a TV series.
Right. Yeah.
Children's Hospital.
I hate Children's Hospital.
What?
Really? Is that
Leah.
any? I watched the first 2 episodes and I was like, ugh.
The web series or the TV show?
The TV show.
Oh, okay. I was going to say the TV show is much better than the original web series, but I mean, I got nothing now.
I mean, maybe it's whatever's on Netflix. Is that the web series or the TV show?
I don't think
That's the show.
I don't think it's on. Oh, American Netflix. I have no idea. Yeah. Actually, I think it would probably be web series is on Netflix because they repackaged the web series as season 1 of the TV show.
Oh, okay, because it's balls.
Yeah, I would say jump ahead to season 2. But you're probably not going to.
Probably not.
Okay.
Let's quiz her next week.
And then Parks and Rec season 7. I know we've talked a lot on the group. I'm of the opinion that kind of season 6 has been a disappointment, and I would have been okay if they had ended it this season, so long as they get like a real series finale written.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean,
I was happy for the pickup news because they can do that like a more of a season long arc rather than just like halfway through. Okay, now we know. Let's write an ending. I think
as far as we know, they haven't. I mean, it's not an official pickup. It was just the head of NBC saying it's like very, very likely they're going to get a season 7. Right?
Yeah, basically, there will be a season 7.
Okay.
But there's like no details.
There's no
like,
official pickup. There's no word on whether it will be a final season.
Yeah. I
thought we had such a beautiful moment with Catherine Hahn telling Amy that she needs to leave the town.
Oh,
I thought that was such a good build-up to end it this season.
I don't know if we need to see, say, a congressional campaign in the style of... Season 4 might actually be my favorite season, where she ran for city councilor, and the amount of serialization and adding Paul Rudd and Catherine Hahn, I really love that season. But I don't know if we need to see another season.
Yeah, it would feel very repetitive if they did it again. It would be a much bigger scale, and then obviously there'd be new avenues.
Well, no, that's why I thought it was such a good setup for her to like announce it at the end of the season that she was leaving. Like, I don't need to see another season of that whole thing.
Yeah, I would like to see at the end of the series, the finale would be her announcing she's going to run for Congress, and then we don't have to see what happens or if she wins, but just knowing she's going to go on to big things. Because it's about the Parks Department.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can't have her leave and still be part of the show. It'd just be weird.
That's why it irks me a little bit how much they've gone overseas. Like the episodes that they've done where they've gone to like the UK and to Paris, which I think were this season alone. They went to the UK and to Paris.
Obviously they did London. That was because they needed Chris Pratt to show up, and he was filming Guardians of the Galaxy in London. And then obviously they shot...
That's why they did it.
They shot a little bit of Paris, probably on that same trip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then inserted into the 100th episode, which was really disappointing, I thought. Nothing happened.
I was enjoyable. I mean, like I said, it's not their strongest season, but I'm enjoying it. It's very...
But I thought it wasn't really a strong character episode.
Yeah.
It wasn't really... Chris and Anne found out the gender of their baby, but we're never going to see that baby, so I don't really care.
Yeah.
And then Leslie was going to potentially run again, but we knew she wasn't going to run again, so it was just kind of like, oh, it's a moment of hysteria. Let's just move past it, please.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then last episode again was her returning to... Actually, the last episode was pretty fun.
Well, I liked it, but I was thrown by that because I remember when she was originally running for city council, the thing was it's part-time, she can still be in the parks department. So as far as I know, she never left the parks department, but now it's like she came back and had to interview for the job.
I was confused.
Guys, continuity on our sitcoms is very important.
I was just thrown by that the whole time. I was like, wait, but she never left, right?
I was kind of confused. I was like, why is she interviewing for a job she never left?
And then, Tom has been bought out of his business, which was kind of a promising character development for him, but it never really went anywhere besides being bought out.
Yeah.
And then the 100th episode was him looking into other business ideas, but nothing really happened with that.
I actually like this avenue for Tom, where he's like the business liaison for Pawnee, like he's bringing businesses in and like an advised capacity.
I was excited to see like a successful business, and then it just was
but that
a failure
takes him out of the
again.
parks department, like we're talking about.
Not if it's part-time again.
Yeah, but this is a job within the parks department. He's kind of creating for himself. He's got Ron there as his advisor type position. And
speaking of Ron, his like 3 episodes this season about getting off the grid and then getting back on the grid.
Yeah, I agree. That was overkill.
Yeah.
1 episode done.
I'd like to see more about. Well, Diane, his wife, is pregnant now, so seeing him, I think it's Leah who keeps saying a baby's going to kill any show, but
yeah.
But I want to see Ron Swanson baby. I want to see Ron Swanson raise
as
baby.
Long
I think that'd be
as
funny.
They keep ignoring it the way that they have, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it's
you
not
know what I mean? They mention it. Yeah, they mention it every now and then. It's not like the Anne and Chris thing.
No, but I could
going.
I could see a couple episodes centered around Ron trying to teach a baby to be rugged and
Yeah,
Which
well,
I don't.
he'll have the baby
I
in
don't
the
mind.
office.
yeah.
He'll have the baby in the office one episode because what's her face, Diane can't be there for whatever reason, so everyone will fawn around the baby for an episode, and he'll be awkward and he'll
Which
grow.
I also don't want to see
Why?
Leslie and Ben have a baby.
No.
At least
I
during the series.
Really, 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 really don't. That's what I'm saying is a show killer.
That's another series finale moment. It could
You
be.
give.
She's pregnant
give
and
them-
running for Congress.
Yes, exactly. There we go.
Uh-huh.
I think we've written the show for them.
Yeah.
Here's what you need to do, Mike Schur.
Anything else to talk about?
Oh, it's a good week.
Good week.
Good week.
Fun times.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the official point spread.
Yep. Oh, let's talk about
Oh, we
the
have Jonah
points.
Hill and Bastille.
Yeah, Jonah Hill, Bastille next week. Let's talk
Yeah.
about the points really quickly.
Sure.
So, here we go. In the rep category, we have Kate McKinnon, 77 points with the lead.
Yes.
Yep, Leah.
Yes.
Vanessa Bayer, 64 points. Taryn Killam, 50 points.
Nice.
Keenan Thompson, 49 points.
Boo.
Jay Farrow, 47 points. Nassim Pedrad, 45 points.
Woo!
Bobby Moynihan, 34 points. 80 Bryant, 24
Oh,
points.
no.
Cecily Strong, 20 points.
Oh.
Wow.
Featured,
Cecily.
Sashir Zameda, 65 points.
Wow.
Kyle Mooney, 35 points.
Wow.
Noah Wells, 30 points.
Take it.
Brooks Whelan, 25 points.
Oh.
Beck Bennett, 17 points. Mike O'Brien, 10
Oh.
points.
Mike.
John Milheiser,
Mike.
5 points.
Ooh, really?
He was just in that poetry sketch.
Kid.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
And he wasn't even in the original poetry sketch, so it didn't count as recurring.
Oh.
But yeah, some things to point out. Kate McKinnon, much stronger than Leah thought.
Yeah, I honestly don't
Although
remember her.
she got 35 points from being in the opening and saying live from New York
Oh,
alone.
no wonder. Come
Yeah.
on.
Take it. Did
That's
anyone
half
have?
her point.
Did anyone have Drake as host or musical
No,
guest?
no.
No.
No bonus points there. I don't think I'm keeping my number one spot. Cecily and Mike hurt me this week.
Whoever has Vanessa is doing well. Killen did pretty well. Keenan Thompson did pretty well. Farrow. Pedrad had a strong show.
Yeah, that's
For her
exciting.
usual. I'm happy about that.
That's the first time I've actually gotten some solid points off
Have
of
we talked
Nassim.
about that she's supposedly going to be on both the Mulaney sitcom for Fox and SNL for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna work.
Are they filming Mulaney in New York? Do we know that? She's just going to get a lot of frequent flyer miles going back and forth between
She
LA and New
hasn't
York?
been in that much of SNL.
But it still
especially-
requires her to be there during the SNL week.
Yeah, you have to be there during the week.
Yeah. I mean, there's a history of... I mean, Will Ferrell, I think, was one of those ones that he, like, stayed an extra season where he was paid a lot, but he had, like, sometimes he took a month off to do a movie or something. Nassim Pedrad is the first time I've heard of where somebody's going to do SNL and another project simultaneously. That's probably not true, but so much
I
so
don't
that
think
they have to
that's true.
schedule
I
them around
haven't
each
heard
other.
that it's actually been picked up.
Mulaney got picked up for
By Fox, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I heard
picked
that
up
it was
for-
picked up, but that's the last thing that I've heard about it.
Let me double check, but I'm fairly sure.
We'll see how it plays out. It could be a thing where she's just in it a lot less, or who knows?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
she hasn't been. You couldn't be in the show much less than Nassim has been.
Talk to
I mean-
Mike O'Brien.
Yeah,
Boom. Oh, I feel bad about that.
Aw, you should, Mike.
I
we
like
love
Mike.
you.
I was glad I
Like-
picked him, but I need more points from you, buddy.
Yeah, announced in December, Nassim Pedrad and Elliot Gould are both on Fox's Mulaney.
In December, I mean, she was off that like entire month.
They didn't
probably
film in
filmed.
December. They haven't filmed yet.
That's just the announcement.
Yeah.
Is it starting this year?
I
It'll be a
believe
fall
so.
show,
I believe
right?
it's... Yeah, I believe it... Oh, I thought it was mid-season.
It
Oh,
can't
could
be
be.
mid. It would start now.
No, it could be like April. They've done that before. Fox isn't doing traditional pilot season anymore, so that's not going to
Oh,
stop it.
that's right. See, so they're probably just going to work around whenever SNL goes on hiatus.
It
or
could be like
That
an
could be true.
April-May start, so she could
Yeah.
be doing both for like 2 weeks or something for all we know.
Yeah.
Sashir Zameda, huge show for first show.
Absolutely. But like
Yeah.
not overly hit yourself on the head with a hammer. Look, we have a new cast member. She's black. She's female. She's like just woven in nicely. Nothing
Yeah.
rested just on her.
Fits in well with the cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very happy.
I believe she's sharing an office with Noel Wells and John Milheiser.
Yes, she is. I've seen pictures tweeted.
Where they're all like happy faces, selfies. It's fun.
That's cute.
Good to see people getting along. I love when the SNL cast gets along instead of all those old stories about them hating each other's fucking guts.
Doing coke in the back room.
Hating each other while doing coke.
Yeah.
Hate
Yeah.
coke.
Hate Coke. That's
Hate
the worst
snorts.
kind of Coke.
I can't find any word on whether Mulaney is a mid-season or a summer or a...
Fall.
Yeah. And as we're recording, Russell just sent me a message that his blog breakdown is live, so people can read that. Probably too cumbersome to actually read live on air. But,
Yeah, you think so?
yeah. But anyway, so there you go. That was this week. Again, we all thought it was a really good episode, and we're going to come back next week for Jonah Hill and Bastille. Jonah Hill, strong host last time he was on. Grey Wolf of Wall Street.
We'll see.
All right. Thank you, Brian, for appearing.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Leah, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
And
Always
we'll
fun.
all meet you back here next week. Jonah Hill, Bastille, thank you very much. Bye, everybody.
Oh, hi.